Hi, I'm back. Happy Friday, TGIF. I hope you're having a really, really, really good day. I'm Natalie, the Dear Hairdresser. If you know me, you know me. If you don't, here I am. Kind of a goofball. Today, what I wanted to talk about was journaling. It's occurred to me that I journal a lot, and that's easy for me, but a lot of people don't really know how to do that for themselves. So I'm just going to give you a couple little things that I've been working on for myself because I have been trying to sift through some of my processes and the things in my head that aren't serving me anymore. My limiting tabs. Do you know what tabs are? TABs. Thoughts, actions, and beliefs. Those are the things that we connect with that make us who we are. So in my brain, I think that we are spiritual beings on this kind of earthly existence, and what we're doing is creating our reality with our thoughts, our actions, and our beliefs. We're creating a present moment. So every thought, action, and belief, though, also creates simultaneously a past moment, because you're thinking about things that's happened in your past, and a present moment. So as I understand it in quantum physics, we are all simultaneously experiencing every potential reality at every given moment. All of us together, like a cube that never ends in space and time, right? Well, that can get really confusing when we're all bumping together with our desires, trying to co-create together and decide who we need to be and what we need to do. Where things get really mixed up is when we start trying to become what we believe other people see that we are. That is challenging because most people are kind of working on being what they need to be anyways, if they're even half connected, and I might be only half connected. I don't even know where I land on that spectrum. It doesn't matter. It's not a contest, okay? We're all bumping together trying to create our own reality that is going to support the thoughts, the actions, and the beliefs that we have, that we're holding on to, that make up who we are. And our personalities really want those things to be true. It's kind of crazy, but the more I've been looking into it, I can see some of the tabs that I have in my world that have caused me a lot of drama in my life and a lot of heartache. And I've been thinking really hard, what is my pattern in there? Because that is one of the ways that you can figure out how to kind of release these and get out of the way of them. A lot about what I talk about on my channel is self-reflection, self-esteem, kind of trying to figure out who you are and love yourself. And I'm noticing on this journey for that self-love and unconditional love for other people is incredibly tied together. Probably the same thing, actually. So I notice for me that I'm constantly tested with lessons where I need to either love myself when I don't feel lovable or love other people when I don't deem them to be very lovable. And my guess is that I'm constantly putting myself in situations where I can prove that I'm unlovable. Crazy, right? Why would I do that? I don't know why I'm doing that, but I know that I'm doing that because that happens to me all of the time. I wanted to share a couple things that I had been journaling here because I have a couple different techniques. Like I was saying, I got off on a tangent there. What I like to do are some things I call mind mapping or free association journaling. I've been trying to sift really deep back into the core of my being. I've even been doing some kind of trying to do in a dream state, some past life regression type things. Safely, very connected and grounded, you know. You can't play around with that stuff, so I don't recommend doing that if you've never done it before. Just, it's out there, you know. Okay, let me take a pause and I'm going to collect some of these things that I want to share with you. So what I started to do, because I'm moving through some of my really deep issues, which I believe are my relationships with men and money. So I started journaling free association style. I did one column women and another column men, and I just started writing down all of the things that I associate with men and women, and I discovered that I have a very deep resentment for men. And And for the most part, I have not been wronged a lot by women in my world. So I already kind of knew that, but that really is interesting for me to look at, because I believe there are times in my life when I'm treating men around me unfairly for that reason, because I'm just kind of predisposed to be not that excited about them. So then what I did, because I don't want to believe that all men are all of these things that I wrote, because there were a lot of things that I wrote on there that I associate with good men in my life, that I thought, you know what, and all of these men that I have negative associations with, probably in some other person's life have those good qualities, because we are all a balance of these good and these bad qualities. This is the road to unconditional love, okay? We've got to embrace that we are all wrapped up, this little bottle of mixture of good and bad, and you know, it's gonna settle in certain areas and you don't know where it's gonna land sometimes. But if you know what's in there, then you know how it's going to kind of, you know, mix up. So I went through and I took all the men in my life, and then I started to connect them with the impressions I had of men. And I boiled it down to the men in my life who I felt were very kind and good people. And I tried to focus on those qualities. And then I decided that I wanted to start looking around in my life for other people like that. And lo and behold, like quickly, I started to notice all of these examples in my world where people have shown up in my life to give me this positive male energy and remind me that there are plenty of really, really upstanding men in the world. So I don't have to have that limiting thought and belief anymore. So that's kind of a nice release for me. However, there is something really interesting about that too. Just because you can notice that and kind of unhook it doesn't mean that it's instantly going to go away. It takes time. You know, this is the easy stuff, but it takes a little longer for the current to make it out and detach that. And a very interesting thing about the mind that I read in a book, I think it was about a habit book, maybe The Power of Habit. But once that neural pathway has been made, it is there forever, kind of like a wash in the desert. It just channels out that little crack, and even though it might not be flowing through there, if information hits in that same pattern that you have processed it before, it will just kind of go that way. I had an experience recently with my ex, who I have some negative associations with, but I have some very positive associations with him too. But we have been getting along really well, and we just had like a little miscommunication, and I noticed instantly how it made me snap. It just, I mean, I was even in like a little adrenaline rush sort of thing there, and it was such an intense feeling that I thought, whoa, you know what? This wasn't even a big deal, and my body just went there instantly. It really reminded me how important it is to pause and take a step back and pay attention to what's really happening. You know, our system is geared to protect us. So our body wants to protect us. We're part of our body. It's going to react to situations where you feel threatened. And if you have been in a conflict with someone in the past for an extended amount of time, and that conflict arises, then you're probably going to snap into that pattern where you feel a little bit threatened and you're going to react. Okay, so once I went through with all of these people in my world, then I went and I tried to take the negative associations that I had and reattach a positive connection there to rescript myself. And I wrote this: I lovingly and with intentional gratitude cut the cords that bind us. Blessed be the individuals who can rejoice in freedom together. So what I do, I feel like that frees me and this person from the past of that role that they were stuck in with me. So I hope you're following along with me. If you're still watching my video, kudos to you. You must think I'm interesting, or already kind of read about this, or that I have fabulous hair today. So I write a lot of like rescripting type mantras, and I find when I'm doing that, sometimes I get lost kind of in a little thought track, and that's nice. I think that's kind of like free association writing too. You just what comes to you, you know? No one has to read it again. You don't have to share it with anyone. You don't even have to reread it. You just have to get it out there. That's the point of the journaling process. Okay, so I wrote, who said that? Sometimes opinions are motivated by uncleared attachment. You are not the combined opinions of anyone, including yourself. You are so much more than a shell with a pulse. So if you are still following along on my video here and you had any kind of trace of what I was trying to get across, I think you would know that I was trying to give you tips about how to be more introspective and work on your limiting thoughts and actions and beliefs so that you can start to change your reality a little bit. You know, we can't do too much about the future in the present except make choices that are going to allow for those thoughts that we have that we want to create to exist. In the past, I think the way that we can change the past is to go back and rescript. It doesn't mean it didn't happen. It just means that your perception of what happened and why it did changed. And I believe that that actually changes the fabric of the past altogether. So it's a really interesting concept and something I could talk about forever. So, yep. Okay. Have a great day. Bye.